Gamers, audience, you know who. Welcome back to Mega Million Comedy. Right, so today, as you know, Supergirl Season 2 just started on the CW now instead of the ABC. If you guys remember, I did a video on the first two episodes of Supergirl, which was awesome, by the way. If you guys haven't seen that one, make sure to go check that out. It was awesome. But I basically talked about the top couple of Easter eggs I found in those episodes, the top 10 Easter eggs. That was awesome. So now for this one, I'm gonna do the top 10 Easter eggs for the last third and fourth episode of Supergirl. Yeah, hope you guys enjoy. I'm gonna go through the two episodes together. Talk about the Easter eggs I found. Break them down, what they have to do for the comic, and sort of just put it in a way that's easy for you guys watching to understand as we do on this channel. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go.
Right, so the first Easter egg we get in this one is actually right at the beginning of episode 3, and that is when the strange alien boy wakes up from his sleep. If you guys remember from the end of episode 2, he woke up. If you guys don't remember from the beginning of episode 1, this guy was actually found falling out the sky in a spaceship at the beginning of season 1. At the end of season 1, people didn't know who it was until season 2 finally started and we got this guy. Now, people still have like different ideas of who this guy might be. People said Superboy, people said Mon-El. However, in this little scene right here where he woke up, we get an Easter egg pointing to the fact that this cannot be Superboy. One in particular, that he does not have heat vision. Another thing, he does not have the power of flight. However, he does not have cold breath either. However, he does have super strength and super jump. Now the thing about and super speed, of course. Now the thing about this is that Mon-El actually does have flight. However, he doesn't have heat vision or cold breath. So this could very well indeed be Mon-El. We're not sure. Well, I'll extend this. Okay, this actually is Mon-El. I'll explain a bit later. How I was able to decipher that, but for people interested, people wondering, no, this is not Superboy. This is in fact Mon-El himself. Next up, we get an Easter egg right a little bit later in the episode when the president shows up, being played by Linda Carter. The president shows up and is attacked by a villain we find out later known as not Rupture, known as Scorcher. Sorry. Um, Anyway, Scorcher attempts to fire up the president, and Supergirl comes in and puts up her cape to defend her. Now, her cape catches completely on fire, but as you can see later, it's undinged. Now, this is a reference from way back at season 1 of The Flash near the beginning, where Wynn made Supergirl's cape out of a Superman's blanket that he was wrapped around as baby when he was in the ship. Now Superman, and Supergirl's costumes are actually inflammable, meaning they can't catch on fire as well as their capes. So this was a cool little reference from back to that little moment in season 1. Up next, we get a glimpse of a Mrs. Maggie Sawyer, who most people probably might recognize right away as the Gotham City Police Department Special Ops and Security Agent. Now, of course, she worked a lot in Gotham in the comics over the years. She worked with Superman and the Justice League some of the time, but she mostly affiliated herself with Gotham. She joined GCPD, and this is how she ended up having connections with Batman and Batwoman. So they ended up having like teaming up a whole lot of times in the comics. So this was a cool hint to that, bringing her in to this series, and then the reference we got back in the episode 2 where the guy was like, we should have stayed in Gotham. If you guys haven't seen that, you can go back and watch episode 2. So this is obviously pointing to the fact that Batman exists in this universe and could possibly be making an appearance on one of the 4 shows. Next, we get a glimpse of Scorcher, who of course does have a very interesting story in the comics. She's a lot like Maxima, the way she shoots fire and stuff. If you guys don't know Maxima, she was also in season 1 of Supergirl as well. She shoots fire just like Scorcher. Um, the only difference is like the fact that Scorcher, well, I guess Scorcher is an alien like Maxima. So never mind. But yeah, this is Scorcher here. She's pretty cool actually. The way she emanates fire, she's a lot like Firestorm, except she can set her whole body on fire, so she's more like Human Torch in a way. But it was awesome bringing her into the show. It's pretty cool. A bit later, we get to see Supergirl tell Mon-El about his origin and how he actually ended up being asleep for 70 years like Captain America. Not really, but you know what I mean. So this is the reference I was talking about that told me exactly that this was Mon-El because of the fact, well, he said his name earlier. Back earlier in the episode, he said his name was Mon-El, but in this, Supergirl explains to him that his planet Daxam, which was the opposite evil planet that always went to war with Krypton. They were destroyed the same time Krypton was destroyed, and he was ended up sent to Earth, the same as Supergirl. So knowing the fact that he is Daxam and that he said his name is Mon-El, is exactly a reference to the fact that he is Mon-El and definitely not Superboy, because Superboy was made in Cadmus Labs, which is where Jeremiah Danvers currently is, so we might see him show up a little bit later in the show as well. For you guys who don't know, this is what he looks like in the comics. He wears a red costume, a blue cape. He has like a yellow ring on that he often wears a lot as well. You can see he's flying, so he does get the power of flight later. But this is just him like getting the hang of his power, so he doesn't have that yet, which makes a lot of sense. But it will be cool to see him fully accentuate his powers as the series progresses a bit later. Towards the end of the episode, we get another reference from the president herself, Linda Carter, where she tells Supergirl is all excited because she got to see Air Force One, and then the president makes a joke saying, if you think that was cool, you should see my other plane, which most people most definitely got as a reference to her time, um, back in like the 1990s, when she played the DC superhero Wonder Woman. Anyway, yeah, she played Wonder Woman a long, long time ago. Another DC superhero just happened to be showed up in Supergirl, just like Flash. And this was an exact reference to Wonder Woman's invisible plane. She made the joke saying, you should see my other plane." So that was a pretty funny joke, hinting to the fact that she used to be Wonder Woman. Of course, people expected to see a Wonder Woman joke come into the show pretty soon, and here it is right here. So yeah, that was pretty awesome as well. Finally, at the end of the episode, we get to see McGann Moores, who is, of course, Miss Martian, Super Martian Manhunter's daughter, from the comics. Now, her look is a whole lot different in this. For one, she doesn't have like the white T-shirt that she has with the red X on it. She's wearing like the blackish kind of leather uniform that Martian Manhunter himself wears with the red X. She didn't have like a she didn't look like Martian Manhunter. A she looked like a human girl, a green human girl with red hair. But here they made her look more like Martian Manhunter's alien form, which I guess makes sense. But it would have been nice to see her in her classic form from the comics. Right then, moving on to the next episode, we get an Easter egg early. This is an Easter egg where McGann actually explains her origins to Martian Manhunter. She tells him that she was held up at a camp, and ended up trying to figure out her own way of escaping after the aliens were evacuated when the white Martians started to attack. This was, of course, a direct reference to her origins where that exact same thing happened. The only difference is McGann actually was a green Martian and was turned into a white Martian by the white Martians themselves. But since she was a green Martian before and she refused to kill, she escaped and made her way to Earth. So this is a pretty good impersonation of Miss Martian's origins in this Supergirl story. Next up, we get to see a famous alien called the Bravak. Now, this alien actually did show up in the comics a lot. He actually took on Superman a couple times. He is very strong. Of course, he can. Well, I don't know if he can take down Supergirl. He didn't actually take down Superman. He just fought him a couple times. But this is a very, very powerful species of aliens in the comics, and it's pretty cool to see them show up in this series as well. Later, we get Martian Manhunter talking to Supergirl and Alex. He reveals that he's not the only Martian left. There's another one named Megan or Megan. um, he reveals that he asked her to merge psychically, like the Martians do. Now, Supergirl thought it was in a different way. Of course, it wasn't. This is actually a reference to the famous merge that Martians do a lot of the time. Martian Manhunter does it a lot of the time in the comics. Not just with Ms. Martian, but with other Martians that have actually come to Earth that have survived. He's also done it with white Martians that have come to Earth that have survived. It's kind of a thing that lets him see into their minds, like their past, um, like how they were from a baby all the way up until now on Mars, all that kind of stuff. He sees them, they see him. It's kind of cool, actually. He does it a lot. He did it in the animated Justice League Doom movie as well. It was pretty awesome. A bit later, towards the end of the episode, we get to see Draga. Now, I actually had no idea that this was Draga because he looks a whole lot different from when I remembered him. Of course, Draga was a very powerful alien in the comics. He took on Superman and Mongol in the Justice League animated series. As you can see, here's a quick pic of him right here. This is what he actually looked like in the show. That's why I couldn't tell that that was him, because they made him look a lot different. But either way, it was cool to see him show up, and the fact that he took down took down Supergirl, proves the fact that he is actually as strong as Superman himself, which is why he took him down in the animated show. So that's pretty cool to see Draga show up in this Supergirl series as well. Next, we get a scene with Win and Mon-El. Mon-El is trying to convince Win to let him go out into the real world, party, get drunk, all that stuff, get hammered. Win obviously says no because John told him to stay behind. So Mon-El, he decides, being the Daxamist he decides to try to trick Win into letting him go out into the outside world. By doing this, he tells Win that if he lets him go, he can make him a cool. No, he tells Win that if he makes him a cool, if he lets him go into the outside world, he'll let him make him a cool superhero outfit, like he made for Supergirl in the comics. Like he made for Supergirl in the show. Now, that's actually a reference to the fact that he does have a costume. Of course, you guys saw it a few minutes ago. He has a costume made for him, not by Win, but by Cisco Ramon, who was, of course, on Flash as the Vibe. Now, this is actually pretty cool reference because Win is a lot like Cisco, so it wouldn't be a shocker to see Win make Daxam see Win make Mon-El's suit in this not in this episode but in this series of Supergirl. That would be pretty interesting to see as well. And finally, we get the last scene at the end where Miss Martian reveals herself as a white Martian. Of course, this was the main reason she didn't want to do the merge with Martian Manhunter, because he was going to find out that she was a white Martian, which is, of course, exactly hinting to her origin in the comics where she got turned into a white Martian. I explained that earlier. So this is pretty cool to see her actually transformed into the white Martian. That shows that they're actually going with that version of Miss Martian in this story, so that's pretty cool to see as well. And I hope they explain this a lot more as the Supergirl series progresses. I'm sure Martian Manhunter is gonna find out later, but it is pretty cool to see her reveal her true colors all this early in this episode.
Okay, well, that does it for this video of Supergirl, all Easter eggs references for episode 3 and 4 revealed. That was pretty much all the Easter eggs I found in the episode. Wasn't really that much. It was just 10 Easter eggs. It was 5 in each episode. Hopefully they'll come out with a lot more Easter eggs. Those are just the, maybe there were more Easter eggs in that one. I just didn't catch them all. Anyway, those are just the ones I found. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know if there's some stuff I said that you didn't quite understand. Let me know if there's some stuff that you saw that I didn't, that you thought I should explain. Let me know if you want me to go back and explain some stuff that I talked about but didn't explain clearly, just anything. Let me know in the comments. Just let me know. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have not seen the last one, be sure to check that out. That was, of course,
The Flash, Season 3, the first 5 episodes, all Easter eggs, breakdown, review, and explanation.
and if you're still interested, be sure to check out my next video. That is going to be
Arrow, Season 5, the first 2 episodes of the series.
that's going to be freaking awesome. So definitely be on the lookout for that one. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. Click the annotations at the end if you want to see some more amazing YouTubers doing videos like this one right here. Or if you want to see some more of my videos, which you probably do, go ahead and subscribe, and I will definitely fish out some more videos like this one for you guys to see in the near future. But thank you guys so much for tuning in, and our adventures will continue in the next video.